Welcome back to Taboo to Truth. If you caught part one, you know we opened the door on a conversation that doesn't get talked about enough. And today we are going even deeper. But if you're just joining us now, hit pause and go check out the first episode. Trust me, you'll want the full story. Let's sort of shift away from toys and go a little to the next level. So we're in a long marriage. We're happy. The sex is boring. Now we want to find other ways to spice it up.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some ideas.
So in my book, I talk a lot extensively about erotic solutions. There are so many sexual activities out there that are creative and playful and fun, and some easy, some a bit more challenging for couples to try that don't involve penetration. So I've heard this a lot from my clients that are 50 and above, saying sometimes I just want to like cuddle and feel sexually connected with my partner without having penetrative sex. And I said, I get it. I hear you. And that's why that sort of inspired me to write a whole chapter about sexless marriage. You know, here are erotic solutions to fix your sexless marriage. And they are sexual activities that don't involve penetration, including things like yab yum, like yab yumming, couples sexual meditation, naked sexual meditation, mutual masturbation.
What's the first one? Sorry, yab yumming?
Yab yumming, yeah. So yab yumming is a practice that is a part of Tantra or Tantric sex. And it's an Eastern philosophy connecting the breath, the mind, and the genital body, and to experience sexual energy, each other's sexual energy without penetration. The guy would sit down cross-legged, and then the woman would sit on top of him and then wrap her legs around him. They would embrace each other, hold each other, and then place their forehead onto each other's forehead, and then they would sink their breath. In that position, it feels so intimate and very, very sexually connected. You can be naked, which then gives it skin-on-skin feel, which gives you oxytocin, and that's the bonding, the love hormone. But you can also do it clothed. By doing this, let's say you take 10 synchronized deep breaths together, you already feel like more connected to one another. And then I recommend moving on to just like feeling each other's bodies with no expectation of penetration. So massaging his shoulders, his arms, he can like massage your chest, your breasts, your nipples, and touch each other just for the sake of touching. And that's it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great. It takes the pressure off because a lot of, I know certainly women, I'm sure it happens with men too. Their partner touches them and they shiver. They're like, they tense up like, oh no, it's going to lead to penetration and I don't want that, at least right now. And this is also, I think, to deal with responsive desire where we may not be in the mood in the moment, but something like that would really help one get aroused.
Yeah, totally. And also the idea of not being pressured into having penetrative sex is hot. I would say women will want more penetrative sex if they weren't pressured to having it.
Yeah, and especially in midlife when things start drying up down there.
Yeah. And lube. I love lube. Lube is so great and it feels so good. It makes you feel sexier. If you lube up the whole vulva and have him play with the clitoris and the whole vulva, massage your vulva, give you a yoni massage. That's one of the erotic solutions I talk about in the book. You know, using lots of lube, have him give you like slip and slide yoni massage, which is like a massage, and just receive, you know, makes you feel like a goddess. Of course, you'll feel horny and then will be ready to have penetrative sex if that's the goal. Like you said, I think a lot of women have responsive sexual desires and will need to relax first, get into that feminine, take deep breaths, and then be in a position to receive.
I think just being in a position to receive as a woman altogether is very difficult. But back to lube, it also is really good for him. It makes things much, especially for those of us with arthritis. Lube is absolutely critical.
It's great for him. Giving your man like lubed up hand job feels amazing. No man has ever said no to that.
Exactly.
And that still allows you to feel sexually connected. I think giving is also very sexy. There are times that I just don't feel like sex, but I will still, let's say give my partner a hand job, because to me, the privilege of giving allow me to feel like I am a generous lover and still allow me to feel connected to him, even though my body isn't personally feeling it at the moment. I just think of it as an activity that help us connect.
And I'm sure once you're doing it, it starts to feel a little bit easier.
Of course. And what I love to do is actually using a vibrator on myself while giving him a hand job. Like, it's win-win.
I think it's great. And I think the whole idea of becoming more connected, like that just brings everything to another level. And I bet there's more communication that starts to happen in that moment as well, because you're not focused on your own pleasure so much as his.
Exactly. But I get it. A lot of women will go like, yeah, but I'm not even in that kind of mood. And I understand and I know why. A lot of women are in relationships that they don't feel like they are adored and appreciated. Two things very different. Sometimes you feel appreciated, but you don't feel adored. Different. Your husband or boyfriend can go, oh, I really appreciate you taking care of the household. I appreciate you organizing this trip. I appreciate you doing blah, blah, blah. I appreciate you taking care of the kids. Cool. That means you are grateful for the activities that I do for you. That's appreciation. Adoration is you look at me and you go, wow, I am the luckiest guy in the world. You are so beautiful, sexy, gorgeous, and charming. Like, that's adoration. A lot of relationships, there's appreciation, but not adoration. Adoration makes you feel sexy. Appreciation makes you feel like a mom.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point.
Yeah, like it's great to feel appreciated. Of course, like that's required in a relationship. But I also want to feel adored, worshipped. I'm a goddess. I'm beautiful, sexy. Like, you gotta help your partner feel sexy. And appreciation doesn't do it.
And I would think that adoration leads to safety, which is really the ultimate, what we're all trying to feel, right?
Exactly. Yeah, emotional safety. Then we can open up more. But yeah, most women I talk to, I just ask them straight up, do you feel adored in your relationship? 90% said no.
Yeah. I once heard Wednesday Martin talking about, another sex researcher talking about her profile and how she added she wants to be chaste and cherished. And I put that on my profile. And every now and then somebody will be in tune to it, but it's unusual. Yeah. Okay. So we started with I want to call it the easy stuff, the more benign kind of introduction to getting erotic. Now, let's say we're doing pretty well in our relationship on this end, but now we want to get either like a little kinkier or a little open or try something a little more risque. How would I do that?
The same method works throughout your life, the media mentioned method, because if you are already communicative in your relationship, it's easier to bring up kink. If you're already communicative in your relationship and you can go, oh, I came across this social media post today and they were talking about bondage. It was very kinky. I've obviously never tried. Have you ever tried? And start having that conversation. Maybe he goes, no, what is it? Then you can go, you want to see it? And you can pull up the clip or you can explain. And then he'll be like, oh, is that something you want to try? And you can be like, I don't know. I mean, it seems interesting. Do you want to try? You always try to make it like reciprocal, like that it's a dialogue, that we come up with this together rather than dictating. This is what I want to do. Do you want to do it or not? Right? You don't want people to ever feel that. You just kind of go, yeah, what do you think? And, have that conversation. And ultimately, you'll get a sense of whether or not they are somewhat down to try something kinky. I love kinky stuff. I'm a kinky person. In my book, the first chapter is what's your sexual profile.
Right. And I did mine.
You did?
I did the one on your website. There's sort of no in between. Like sometimes I like this, sometimes like that. So it's a little rigid, but mine was a dynamic lover, a gentle lover. I'm flexible and I'm kinky.
Oh, we're very similar. I'm a dynamic lover. I'm kinky as well, and I'm flexible as well, but I'm animalistic.
So I can go either way.
I can enjoy gentle sex, and sometimes it's really nice, but I think naturally I lean more animalistic.
I can build to it. When I'm in it starts out really like soft and then I get into my animal. So that's why it's a little hard. And my version of kinky and yours are very different, I'm sure.
What is your version of kinky?
I'm into trying different positions a little bit, a little role play, things like that. But I have never been to a club or parties, but I would entertain it.
Erotic parties.
Erotic parties, sex parties, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. I love sex parties. I went to one recently in New York and I'm going to one tomorrow.
So my feeling has always been I would have to go with someone I was in a committed relationship with just to hold my hand because I'm like be so scared to walk into a room full of people having sex all over the place.
But you never have to do anything.
Right.
Yeah, like it's not just one big orgy. You can just go get a drink and dance like a nightclub.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like there's sex everywhere at certain point in the night. Past midnight, if you go to certain rooms at these parties, it's sex everywhere. But then there's always space for people that don't have sex. There's always the dance floor, the bar that you can hang out. It's just like a nightclub. People misunderstand these parties that like you walk in and it's literally one big orgy and you have to participate. That's not true at all. Actually, every time I go to a party, 50% of the people just hang out. So it's like going into a nightclub, except it's a lot safer than a real nightclub because in a nightclub, anyone can take advantage of you, touch you, roofie you. At sex parties, everyone gets vetted. You have to apply to go and submit your test and everything. So it's actually the safest place to be.
That's really interesting. I talked to the couple that own Top Floor in New York.
Yeah.
And Landmars. Actually, I invited them on the podcast and they said no because the demographic was too old for them. My friend said, I mean, he's my age, but he said that it's definitely a much younger crowd. Are there sex parties for old people that start a little earlier?
Yeah. Yeah, they are. I mean, though you're in LA now. So the one in LA called The Play is not necessarily for old people, but it's like everyone's welcomed. In New York, there's a place called Hacienda. It's also very welcoming to various age groups.
I mean, I don't mind a young guy, but I think it's the other way around is not always as appealing.
Cruises are also leaning a bit older. If you go to the Desire cruise or the Temptation cruise, that's a sex cruise. It tends to lean older because it's also people who have more resources.
But is that just sex and all over the place if you're on a cruise?
No, so during the day, it's education. There are workshops and fun activities to do and exploring the islands wherever the cruise goes to. And then nighttime, every night there is a sex party and there's a show.
Like a regular cruise.
It can be erotic show. It can be like boudoir dancing. It could be whatever it is. And then there are rooms that are for sex parties. I'm actually going to the Killing Kittens one. Have you heard of Killing Kittens?
No.
Oh, I love them because it's all about female empowerment and all about just women-led experiences. So at Killing Kittens sex parties, for example, the woman has to initiate. So if you go with your boyfriend and you want to approach a couple, you will approach the couple, like the woman.
Bumble, cruise Bumble.
Well, no, like
on Bumble, you have to approach, the woman has to initiate.
Women-led, yeah, which it feels safer a lot of times because sometimes, a man comes and approach you and you're naked. It can be awkward, but if it's a woman, it's different. And that's what she wants to do. So basically, Killing Kittens is like a female empowerment organization. And they do sex parties, retreats, and cruises. So I'm actually going on a cruise next year with them.
That'll be interesting to hear about.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It'll be my first time. I've never been on a sex cruise before.
So what was it like the first time you went and tried something like really out there compared to like vanilla, I guess?
A sex party?
Yeah, a sex party or like something really kinky.
Yeah, the first time going to a sex party, I was a bit uncomfortable. But at the same time, people were so nice and they were so welcoming. People just talk to you, ask you if you want something, ask you if you're okay. The first time that my husband and I went to a sex party together, that was a very kinky night because we ended up having sex on this lounge chair while 8 people watch. And he basically fingered me and I squirted everywhere and people started clapping.
Oh my God, that's too funny.
So yeah, it was a very empowering moment and celebratory because I didn't know they were going to be clapping.
Well, squirting is like a badge of honor for men. They all want to get you to squirt.
Yeah. I don't squirt every time, but my husband is very good at getting me to squirt because he knows how to finger me properly. And it needs to be someone that knows how to do it and is also patient because it takes a while.
So explain for the audience if they don't know, they've heard about squirting, but they think it's a little awkward because it feels like pee.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mixture of both because you're really pushing things out and sometimes pee comes out as well. But there's also ejaculate for women. You know, women can have ejaculatory orgasm, which is squirting orgasm. So, when you squirt, which can be through finger and penetration, but a lot of women have reported through finger is easier. You will then push out this liquid. Sometimes it's just like a little bit of a bloop. You know, sometimes it's like a projectile. It just depends on the woman and the moment. And it's a mix of liquids from the skin's glands, which is like the ejaculate part. But sometimes people also push out their pee as well if they have a full bladder. So it's just a mix of things. I don't worry too much if it's pee or not because ultimately I feel great. My partner feels great. Like, who cares? And I usually use a squirt blanket, like sex blanket. So yeah, that's squirting orgasm. It feels amazing to have one.
Can you have a squirting orgasm with penis penetration or toy penetration?
I've squirted before through just penetrative sex with a partner.
Is there a technique or it depends on the person?
I think the technique is typically pushing the front part of your vaginal wall, which is like the G zone area, the G spot or G zone area, pushing that part, and then also pushing down the bottom of your stomach. So like your bladder, and then also stimulating your clitoris at the same time. And when you orgasm, don't hold in, because sometimes people orgasm, they will hold it in. They will tense up. If you actually let it go, that's squirt.
Wow, interesting.
Try it tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Can you make yourself squirt? Like, is it something you can do for yourself?
Yeah, I squirted from masturbating quite a few times.
Yeah.
Let go.
I feel like you need too many hands to go.
Yeah, it is quite distracting to squirt when you're masturbating. But try next time when you masturbate using your vibrator, try when you come, not stop. Try not to remove the toy out. Just have it stay there and see if it comes out.
Okay, couple more definitions and then I know we're pressed for time. Cuckolding and hot wifing. What are those?
Yeah, so cuckolding is a non-traditional sexual practice where the man enjoys watching his partner being pleasured or having sex with another man while he watches in the room and a lot of times also masturbating. So that's cuckolding. So some people practice cuckolding like here and there, maybe once a year, maybe once every few years. Some people live it as a lifestyle, like a cuckolding lifestyle. Hot wifing is very similar, but the philosophy of it is slightly different. Hot wifing is like when you feel like your wife is so hot, you want to share it with other people. And the hot wife also feels like she is so hot that she wants to be a gift to more people. So typically it may involve the wife having sex with other men, and then the husband sometimes watches, sometimes doesn't.
And is there a male version where hot husbanding?
Hot Yeah, hot partner. Like, yeah, nowadays I think it can be used in any way, in any genders. I'm not gonna lie. I like hearing about my partner's sexual adventures. You know, if my husband had sex with someone when I wasn't in town, like, I kind of want to hear about it. I haven't watched him have sex with someone yet, but I wouldn't say no to it either.
I think it's erotic to talk about it. I don't know if I'd actually want to watch, but I can see where people would get into that.
Yeah. You know, we have so much trust in our relationship and we are each other's soulmate, forever life partner. And for us, we are similar in that way that sex needs exploration and it needs to be very exciting. And this is just for us. This is not a propaganda. You don't have to do it. No one has to do it. But I'm just saying for us. And it's so cool that we met and got married and that we're each other's partners because it's hard to find a partner like this. And he sexually explores with others. I sexually explore with others. We also sexually explore together. Like we're going to a sex party tomorrow together. So it's a very fun marriage. Very different from my first one. I mean, my first husband was very kind, but we just never had sexual compatibility. But with this relationship, I feel a lot more myself and it's just more fun.
And I think that's the key. I mean, when I used to be a divorce coach and I said the two hardest conversations to have are about money and about sex.
Oh, yeah. And research shows that sex and money is so hard to talk about. I had to get it out of the way. Like the first time we went on a date, I told my now husband, I told him, listen, I grew up in a household where my dad paid for everything. So if I'm going to marry someone, like that person needs to be a provider. And then number two, I am a non-monogamous person. So if we're dating for long term and if we're, going to be together, if we're going to get married, it needs to be some sort of a non-monogamy situation, an open marriage of some sort. I got that out of the way immediately. And I think I just learned so much from my divorce and from my first marriage.
Right.
I just held it in and tried to be the perfect wife, and that did not work.
And I think that's the key for all relationships. Even if you've been in a long relationship and you haven't had that communication, it's not too late to start, even if you just start small using some of Dr. Tara's tips. Thank you so much. It was so lovely to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you. Have an orgasmic day.
Thank you. You too.